Hi, it's Kendra, and welcome to my channel, The Lady Who Walks, where I talk about how I lost 51 pounds over the age of 50, never stepping foot in a gym or dieting for one single day. So let's talk about it. Let me tell you a little bit about my weight loss journey. I feel like I've been on a diet my entire life, and I feel like you can probably relate to that. They put so many beauty standards on us as women that it just feels like my entire life I was never happy with what I weighed, which is so sad. And I feel like I should hug myself for that. I've had 3 children, and after each one of those kids, I would lose back within 10 or 20 pounds of my previous weight. So still always trying to lose, trying to lose. At 31 years old, I had a full hysterectomy. I know that's so young, but I had a full hysterectomy, and within a year, I gained 50 pounds. I can look back now and see that that was very much hormonal, very much related to my hormones, but I didn't know that at the time. This was in 2003. And so I, or two. And so I had a full hysterectomy, gained 50 pounds, couldn't do anything about it. So a year later, I decided to get a lap band. Have you ever heard of a lap band? That it was very innovative in the day, very innovative, but it's a device that was in my stomach that would make the top of my stomach small. So I had a small stomach and then my normal stomach, and then I would have to eat food and it would drip down slowly. So I could only eat very small amounts of food. Okay. It was a device that was put in me. And the first year I lost about 36 pounds and I ended up losing 50 pounds total from the lap band. I had it for 7 years. And I can tell you, not worth it. It was not worth it. It was not a good quality existence at all. And I wouldn't recommend it. I just absolutely wouldn't. And so, 7 years in 2010, it became unstitched from my stomach, flipped over, and I couldn't eat any kind of food. So I was miserable, in pain, had to have it taken out. So in 2010, I had the lap band taken out. I kept the weight off for just a little bit, but then life happened. So many things happened in my life. So much stress. I moved, I changed jobs, I got divorced and married. Um, that's another story that we'll talk about another time. My husband, my brand new husband, had a lot of health issues. I just had so much stress happen in my life. I gained that weight back. Within 1 year, I gained 50 pounds, all 50 pounds back. Again, I can see that it was pretty much hormone related also back then, because of the hormone replacement therapy that I was doing. So I went from losing the weight to gaining it all back in 2010 or 2011. I gained it all back. And then I just was constantly just trying to lose the weight from 2011 to 2020. And I would lose 10, 20, 25 pounds. And then something would happen in my life as it does. And I would gain it back. In 2020, September 12th, 2020, I made a video. I was fed up and I said, I'm sick of this. I had gained the weight back again that I had lost. My parents had passed away. My husband had a massive stroke. It was so much stress. I put the weight back on. I was over it. I said, I'm making a decision here and now to change my life. And I made a commitment to walk 10,000 steps a day every single day for a solid year. That's 4 miles a day. And I committed to doing that. I'm like, I'm changing my lifestyle. From now on, getting these steps is just going to be part of my day, just the same as brushing my teeth. And I'm going to do it. I had no idea just how much that was gonna transform my life because what that commitment did, was taught me discipline, and it taught me that whenever I make a commitment to myself, I can keep it, and I really started trusting my own word to myself, and so then from there, it spiraled, like 8 months into that commitment, I really had only lost maybe 8 pounds, and you'd think I would have lost so much more than that walking 4 miles every single day, but what I didn't know at that time is that my thyroid was not functioning at all. And I wasn't feeling well 8 months in. I finally went to a doctor, to a hormone specialist. And that's where she discovered that my thyroid wasn't working. And she said, you could have walked 100 miles a day and you wouldn't have lost any weight. You have no metabolism whatsoever. So she put me on some thyroid medication because I had hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's. Put me on some thyroid medicine, started feeling so much better. I started taking a hormone called BioT. I'll do a whole nother video about that. Got my hormones balanced. I started paying attention to how food made me feel and what foods made me feel terrible and what foods made me feel great. And I cut out foods that made me feel terrible, like gluten was the very first thing. But I started making small changes, little bit, little bit, little bit. And then I started working on myself internally. I started doing different things to heal past hurts and past trauma. And all of this is what led to this 51-pound weight loss. It was a bunch of things combined, but it mainly it was me changing my lifestyle because when you do a diet, You just change it for a little while, but once you go back to the way that you were, things are going to go back to the way that they were. And so you have to make permanent changes, but you need to do a little bit at a time. And this is what people don't talk about when they're like, "Oh, I'm going to change my life." You try to change all of it at one time, you're setting yourself up for failure. I've done that so many times in my past. And so I made small changes. 8 months, I walked for 8 months before I made another change of cutting gluten out. I cut gluten out for a whole year before then I decided to cut dairy out. And so I made these little changes one at a time, one at a time. I started tracking my food. I did a program called 75 Hard. Woo! Have you ever heard of 75 Hard? It is aptly named. That thing is hard. It's a commitment for 75 days, and it has just different guidelines that you follow, and you do it every single day for 75 days. I don't know what it is about me having to set time linked things, but that works for me. So I'm going with it. But it includes following a certain diet of your choice. And I use the word diet in a different way. It just means a program, a nutrition program that you choose. Okay. It doesn't set any of them out. You choose it. And the one that I chose was to document all the food I eat in my Fitbit app. And I would document everything so I could see what I was taking in. Here's what I discovered from that. I discovered that I was eating way too much food. Even whenever I thought I was eating healthy before, the foods that I thought were healthy, like this 15 bean soup that my husband and I used to eat all of the time, I got half the amount that I would normally get in my first trip. And it was 1,100 calories in half the bowl because beans got a lot of calories in them. And so it really like opened my eyes that the foods that I thought that I was doing good eating healthy, it really I wasn't making good food choices for myself. So that's what came from tracking my food. I did do a slight calorie deficit, and by slight I mean that I just cut out 500 calories a day of what I was burning. I did 500 calories less so that I could start losing weight. And in that 75 days, I lost 21 pounds. And it was like the greatest results I'd ever had, that in a healthy way. And it was awesome. But the 75 Hard also has you working out twice a day, 45 minutes each time. One of them has to be outside. So I was lifting weights every day. And then I was going walking. For my other workout, you have to drink a lot of water. You do reading. You take a daily picture. You don't drink alcohol, which I don't drink anyway, so that's no big deal for me. And so it has these different guidelines that you follow, but I found it to be extremely beneficial. So I recommend it. You got to be disciplined to do it. So I think the fact that I had done the 1 year of 10,000 steps is what set me up for success with the 75 Hard. So there are different programs you can do called 75 Medium that might, if you're just jumping into this stuff, that might be better than to just jump into it. But I'm just throwing all this stuff out there just to give you some ideas of what I did. Again, I still track my food now. Now I kind of know because I eat pretty much the same thing every day, or I pick from certain things that I eat. I kind of know what the calories are, and I kind of keep what I'm burning is what I'm eating, or a little bit less. I still would like to lose about 10 more pounds. And then finally, I'm going to be done because I'm ready to be done with this weight loss journey. If I didn't lose another pound, I'm completely happy with what I weigh right now, and it would be totally fine. Really, my whole goal there is because I want to fit back in my wedding dress that I wore in 2010 when I married the love of my life. And I'm like 8 pounds. I'm only 8 pounds away, and I'm so close to being able to zip that up. And so that's just a personal goal that I have for myself. If I don't meet it, it's okay. But I want to. You feel me, you set those kind of goals. So that's some things that I did. I'm going to go into way more detail with all of this stuff with more videos. Again, I plan on posting every day to just kind of give you inspiration and encouragement that you can do this after the age of 50. I have gained muscle. Can you see my little muscle that I have right there? I've gained muscle, and that's from just doing like little hand weights and stuff. And so I'll go more into my fitness, more into my diet, what I'm eating every single day. I'll be making videos on that stuff too. So I'm just checking in with you today. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I'm so glad that you're here. Thanks for joining my community. You're awesome. I love you.